Alright, today we're taking a look at the vocabulary regarding the First Amendment to the Constitution. First of all, we have to discuss what the First Amendment is. The First Amendment is an amendment to the Constitution that stops Congress from interfering with our freedom of religion, assembly, press, petition, and speech. So looking at those things, first of all, is the idea of what a petition is. A petition is a formally drawn request, often bearing the names of a number of those making the request, that is addressed to a person or group of persons in authority or power asking for a favor, right, mercy, or other benefit. Ugh. Lots of words there. Basically, in less words, a petition is when you petition, you're contacting your government and you're telling them things that you want them to change. So, if, for example, you wanted something to be changed at Carl Sandburg Middle School, you might write a letter to Mr. Yarborough and have a bunch of your friends sign it. The reason why it wouldn't just be a letter from you, but you'd have your friends sign it, is because then if there's more people who sign on, that person in charge knows that more people are concerned with this issue and the weight of the issue grows. So a petition is literally just a request, usually written down, sent to someone in a position of authority. Your next word is speech. And in terms of the government, we're talking about the ability to express one's thought. In other words, your freedom of speech is your freedom to believe what you may want to believe. You can believe whatever you want, and you can express those beliefs at any time to anyone who will listen. Next is the freedom of the press. The press are all of the media and agencies that basically send out the news. So CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, the Washington Post, the Washington Times, the New York Post, the Wall Street Journal, blah, 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 blah. All of those are examples of the press. Any place where you can get news is the press. And when we're talking about the freedom of the press, we're talking about their ability to print things without worrying about government censorship. The government cannot stop the press from saying truthful information. As long as the information is true, the press can say it and can report on it. And the government can't do anything about it. They can't infringe on the right of the press to report the news and tell us what's going on. Alright, your next word is religion. Your religion is your faith. It's what you believe in regarding creation, regarding God, regarding divinity. That is religion, a specific fundamental set of beliefs and practices generally agreed upon by a number of persons regarding issues of faith. So, examples of different types of religions, especially in the United States, the major religions are Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And you can see in the picture there are many more religions than just that. In the United States, you have a freedom of religion. That means you can choose to believe in any religion you want, so long as the belief set doesn't hurt another person, or you can choose to believe in no religion at all. It's your choice. The government cannot tell you what to believe in terms of your religion. The next word is assembly. And just like when you have an assembly at school, where the entire school gathers in one place, an assembly is just a coming together of a number of persons, usually for a particular purpose. Look at the picture. In the picture, you see Martin Luther King and the crowds on the mall for the March on Washington in 1963. That was a massive assembly. And the government cannot disperse them just because, as long as they are peaceful. Okay? We are allowed to gather in groups so long as we are peaceful, and the government cannot tell us otherwise. There are other examples of where the assembly goes to be less than peaceful, but that's a different term altogether. That would be a riot, not an assembly. So as long as we are just assembling peacefully, that is our right. Our next word is principle. A principle is an accepted or professed rule or action or conduct. In other words, when we talk about the First Amendment, we're talking about some fundamental principles of the United States. These are freedoms that we believe every person should have, but in other countries we can't enforce these principles. But in the United States, we have a set of principles and beliefs that we follow when it comes to our laws. And your last word should definitely be review. You should know what an amendment is, but just in case, it is the alteration or addition to a motion, bill, or constitution. In our case, we're talking about changes to the Constitution. So the First Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the 5th Amendment, these are all changes that were put into the Constitution to promise rights to us. All right? An amendment is simply a change. Okay? Thank you for completing your notes. I'll see you next time for the First Amendment in general.